Hi, everybody. It's Brett Bell here from Grassroots Online for episode 29 of our weekly video podcast, which we call RootsCast. With me, as always, is the bespeckled and black-shirted Mark Hardwick.
Bespeckled?
Bespeckled. You're wearing your glasses. I think that's what it is.
Oh, speckled wearing the glasses. Yeah. It was a late night as we just discussed. So I got the glasses on today so I can see the screen and see all our lovely viewers out there today.
Now, and also, it's interesting. I thought I'd mention you're also actually standing at the moment, right? You got a new desk.
Yeah, I am standing. Actually, you can see. Actually, you can probably see the top of the closets there, and it looks a little bit different than normally. Yeah, I got this desk. I got this. It's a stand-up desk. It goes on the desk. You can lift it up and down as you go, and it's really. I've been on it for almost a week now. It's a little bit different. But I've definitely noticed I have some back issues after sitting for 15 years for 12, 15 hours a day. You get some back issues. Clearly, you try to be a hero when you're older and lift things upstairs when you're moving and blah blah blah. So yeah, I've noticed over a week significantly that my back has gone down in soreness. My legs are taking a little bit of the brunt now, building some muscles that I don't use. But really great. I'd recommend to anybody who has back problems or just looking for a change, sitting is not generally good for you. Studies are shown now, and a lot of us do sit. So it's really neat because it goes up and down, up and down. So pretty cool. We'll see how it goes over the next month or so, and I'm liking it so far.
And we just recently celebrated your 40th birthday, and I understand that you have a gift that you happen to receive from your lovely wife.
Yeah, funny thing. She likes to keep me geeked out. So got this lovely Android Wear here. Let me get it into the screen there. Pretty cool. It's in its primary stages. Obviously, it only came out a couple weeks ago, but I'm enjoying it. I like the fact that I get notifications right to my wrist. I don't have to pull out my my phone all the time. And if I look at it, it's not a priority. I can just flick it off the screen and go back. Don't have to worry about opening up the phone, which tends for me sometimes. I open my phone when I'm working if something goes off, and I tend to start looking at Twitter feeds, Facebook. So it's a little bit of a distraction. So this way, I found the notifications allow me to get what I need to get, and if it's important, I go to my phone. If it's not so important, then I stay off my phone, and it improves my productivity. Not quite there yet. I'm not as impressed as I thought I would be right off the bat, but I can see it's got some room for growth. So if you're in the market for a smartwatch, this would be the one to get.
No, I did the smartwatch thing. I tried the Pebble, and I'm done. I can't. My hatred for watches surpasses anything else. So I'm done for wearables for next little while. But I agree with you. I think it's just the beginning stages, and I think that we'll see lots of new things that'll work in that area. So well, it's good. Some interesting we got two product reviews today on the podcast. So there you go. Talk about added value. There you go. So what we'll do is
network.
What's that?
Home shopping network. It's like the home shopping network today.
Exactly.
And for this, we can get you this. We only have 5 left. Okay, let's get it.
5 minutes, 38 seconds left. Here you can. We only have 5. If you call in right now. Exactly. I think if this doesn't work out, if the digital online stuff doesn't, the political stuff doesn't work out, we can always work at QVC. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think I'll stick to the digital. That's where we do our best work, eh?
All right, fair enough. So we're gonna move to the first topic, and it was reported in the Toronto Star I guess yesterday, and I saw it get a fair amount of play with some of the political folks. I'll screen share it here. There is I guess a new Twitter account that's tracking anonymous Wikipedia edits that are coming from House of Commons IP addresses. So if we take a look at the account, it's called GCCA Edits, and I guess it automatically posts edits that were made on Wikipedia by anyone coming from a Government of Canada IP address. So this is something that has been, we've seen it in the States. We've seen it not only reports in the States. Here's one here from the Daily Dot. So this goes by Congress Edits. We'll open that up, and you can take a look at it. So this is Congress Edits, which is a very similar account. So it does the same sort of thing. And just before we came on, Mark informed me that that is it's actually now in the Ontario. The Wikipedia page is changed by people from Queen's Park or Government of Ontario address are also, there's a new account for that as well. So it seems to be they made the code open source, so it seems to be taken off as a main issue. I'll start off right from the bat and say two things. One is, for somebody who, I'm fairly pro transparency. I think this is great. I think it's important to see when Wikipedia pages are being changed. I think that's really important. But the point that I want to make, if I could, was that it's interesting because Wikipedia seems to be, and this is a little off topic, but Wikipedia seems to be the kind of like the forgotten asset when you're thinking about digital assets. And most people don't spend a lot of time working on their Wikipedia page, but it's often one of the top search results when people are looking for information on a particular candidate or a cause or an institution or a party or whatever. It's one of the top search engines, and it's interesting that we don't see a lot of attention being given to making sure that story is being told. And I've been on campaigns where a furious editing of back and forth on Wikipedia pages. So it's interesting to see. Obviously, there's a real interest or there's a lot of activity on Wikipedia pages, but it's not something that I see a lot of people in the digital space talking about in terms of its importance. So I just think it's interesting that this is coming up and that Wikipedia is sort of back in the spotlight forever, how briefly, but again, it's always one of the top one. It's always on page one, your Wikipedia page. So interesting. What are your thoughts on it, Mark?
Well, I find it interesting. First off, I like it because it gives both to Americans and Canadians and now Ontarians some transparency on the actual on Wikipedia where things are being changed. I like it that this guy Ed Summers from DC, I guess, is the programmer that set all this up. I like that he made it open source. So he allowed it's on GitHub. It's called Anon, and I like the fact that he's put it on GitHub there for people to grab, and obviously people are taking advantage of it, right? It got set up in looks like July 8th was one of the first tweets.
Oh wow!
From Congress edits, and then from there it's taken off and it's come into Canada now. So I like that it's open. I like that people are able to see what's going on. I think it'll be interesting though to find out, because the way that I understand the program is that it checks for things that are being changed on Wikipedia, and then it checks those IP addresses, whichever IP addresses he specifies, right? So right. It'll check for changes. So it'll be interesting to see what government employees are doing and what changes they're making to other pages, not only government pages, right? If you notice, I think in the article they said that one of the changes that was made was to the Rough Riders. So is it Ottawa, the Rough Riders, that they're now defunct? Is it the Rough Riders? No,
yeah.
That's Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, yeah.
That's Saskatchewan.
You can tell we're both huge fans of the CFL.
Yeah. I'm a big CFL fan. Anyways, the Ottawa team is now defunct, and someone made a change to that. So it's interesting that came up. So it'll be interesting to see what changes actually come out of those IP addresses, as opposed to just the changes to actual government pages. So you'll see what people are actually doing at work.
Sure, as part of their official duties, and I think a lot of the changes are fairly benign. And if there's an update to, let's say, for example, there's a cabinet change or things like that, then obviously that stuff's going to get changed. So I think there's some rudimentary, fairly standard changes I think are going to happen. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think what would be interesting also to me is that people, I'd like to see it sort of outside of not just monitoring government IP addresses, but any kind of elected official and sort of people in the whether they're either elected to or looking to be elected. It'd be interesting to see sort of what the changes are, because I think that you'd be surprised. Again, I've been involved in a few of them, but I think people would be surprised by how furious the battleground is for Wikipedia pages, and when they're in dispute and there's back and forth and people are trying to change different ways that they're perceived. They want to change how they're perceived in terms of the general sort of narrative of their candidacy or their term in office. So it's I think it's something that happens. It's a bit of a sort of a lower profile war as it were, more of the public record, but it definitely happens. There's no question.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking that you could actually, during campaign time, you could, I don't know if you could edit this script or you'd have to create another one, but you could edit it so that it's searching all candidate pages, like the different candidate pages, and it would alert you to, and it would tweet to just those candidate pages when they're changed, so you'd see the back and forth, the back and forth, the back and forth. So that would be kind of cool. I think it would give voters or people following the actual Twitter feed an idea of what's going on and how fast it's being changed and what's being changed on it, and yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think actually Wikipedia, as you said, it is kind of the forgotten digital asset, right?
Yeah.
You know, people seem to edit it when they need to edit it, as opposed to keeping kind of up to date. So I think now that people are more aware of changes going on, I think people are going to be editing their profiles.
Yeah.
So
No, and I agree, and you know, again, if you have any kind of public profile, it's important to have a well kept Wikipedia page. I'd like to say an accurate one. Like, you know, I'm a bit. Look, at the end of the day, Wikipedia is sort of a public record, so I'm not saying that it should be spun or changed or anything like that. I mean, I think it is, whether you like it or not. But I think it's. I do think it's important that it's. The entire record is accurate, and that it's, you know, that changes are made to reflect that. So and again, I can't remember the last time somebody asked me about their Wikipedia page. So it's not something that, you know, again, maybe it's something that we should spend more time recommending, but it's not something that folks spend a lot of time. You know, they spend a lot more time on their Facebook page than they do on their Wikipedia page. So.
No, I think the thing is too that a lot of that it's open, right? So you can create a Wikipedia page for somebody even if it's not yourself, right?
Sure.
So if you're out and about and you create one for a politician because you're on another team and you start putting untruths on there or inaccurate facts about the politician or candidate, that becomes a problem for them, and it becomes a constant edit, right, back and forth, back and forth. So I like it. It's a good way. It is good, but it could become a place where edits need to be done constantly.
Yeah, but you know, and now there's some resources to track those edits, so that's a good thing. So I'm happy about that. The next, why don't we move on to our next topic? I think we've sort of talked that out. I think the next topic is I guess Mashable, and as always I'll do a screen share here. Mashable is reporting on that I guess Facebook is boosting partisan sites in news feeds. So as people may or may not know, and again, as always, we'll keep that. We'll put it in the show notes. But Mashable, I guess, where Facebook is reporting on, I guess there was an infographic that was done. Sorry, let me. I'll screen share this one because it is important. There's an infographic here that shows that a number of political-based sites, so sites like Mother Jones, Fox News, Huffington Post, Business Insider, ones that focus on fairly political content, actually saw a significant boost in their referrals from Facebook. So the article is that Facebook has used their algorithm, and for those who don't know, they use something called EdgeRank, which is essentially the algorithm, the Facebook algorithm that determines what users see in their feeds. So they can change whatever they want, and I guess the data coming through here is that political sites or sites with with political content have actually been boosted by Facebook. So now we're seeing more referral traffic. So I just want to get your thoughts on it and whether or not if it's relevant to what we deal with day to day.
I definitely think it's relevant to what we deal with day to day. I think that it actually increases. Backs my message of using social media in politics, right, and using digital to your advantage. I think that if you read there's a few different stories here that actually talk about Facebook and the Facebook feed, and one journalism professor from NYU says, what the F is Facebook doing juicing partisan sites in your newsfeed, right? Does it even know what it's doing? So like, people are questioning, does this Facebook algorithm, do they even know what they're doing with this algorithm on a monthly basis as it changes? Do they even understand the changes they're making, or do they actually know what they're doing? And my answer to that would be, is I think they know what they're doing. You're dealing with top programmers who are building this algorithm and changing it on a constant basis to feed content to what they want people to see. I believe, and I think that Facebook is starting to take a fairly large. I mean, they put large money into politics in the States, and I think that they're testing out some smaller political sites and giving them some juice. And I think that it's showing that these smaller political sites that aren't big like CNN or what's another USA Today are actually surpassing these bigger news giants with their likes, their shares, and engagement. Period. So I think Facebook is doing a good job of this. I think it's important to keep politics in the newsfeed.
Yeah, well, but I'd say there's two things. The first one is, are they partisan? Of course they are. And there's ample evidence that they are people who believe. And partisan, what I mean is, I guess, is maybe I shouldn't use that term because it may have been saying Democrat or Republican or right or left or whatever. That's not what I mean. I guess what I mean is that they're actively involved in politics. If you look at things like their politics for Facebook page, where they highlighted all of the great things that politicians are doing, that they've they have their I voted button, that they have get out the vote stuff, where they've done studies on whether or not that it impacted or not. They clearly have an interest in the political space. There's absolutely no question in my mind. And of course, as you mentioned, their lobbying that they're doing now and what have you. So even being involved in protecting their interests, they're very involved in the political space. They're not sort of passive observers. And the fact that they're boosting, if you take that sort of pro-democracy or pro-political viewpoint, it's not surprising to me that they're going to be boosting news feeds. I'm not surprised by that in the least. And I do think that's a good news for all political campaigns that are using Facebook. Facebook continues to be a great referral of traffic. It is the largest social network here in North America in terms of just number of users and number of people visiting it daily. So it's absolutely a critical part of a digital strategy. But I guess the other thing that I'll mention, which sort of makes me wonder, again, is that if you read the article, what they talk about is that these people, it sounds to me like these folks like Business Insider, The Blaze, Mother Jones, they all are people who are actively working to boost this traffic. So yeah, maybe it may be an algorithm item, but I also think these people actually know how to do it, which is they've kind of learned that they're taking pages from BuzzFeed and Upworthy and sites like that really do a good job of getting a lot of Facebook referral traffic, and they're using those same tactics. And they're saying, I think there was one particular. I'm looking at the article here, but I think there's one particular. Mention, I guess, of an Upworthy style headline reading, Ron Paul says if Americans understood this, the Hobby Lobby contraception case would likely never have happened. So it's sort of that sort of leading headline that grabs people. Go, oh, what did Ron Paul say? What did he do that would make people think that? And getting those kind of hits and getting people to click on it. So playing the game, I guess, is a better way to put it. So I think. Yeah, maybe they're boosting it, and I don't disagree with that, and it sounds to me like there is some data to back that up. But I'm also not surprised that we're seeing more of these sites being lifted because they're figuring out how better to get Facebook referral traffic. Right? They're playing the game, as I said.
Yeah, so you think they're just getting better at what they're doing, and they're figuring out how Facebook how Facebook's the algorithm is actually working? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Mother Jones, and the one of the representatives from Mother Jones, he basically says, look, we're baiting them. Like, we do well. Like, they had a over 700% increase. They're saying we do well because people want to talk. We intentionally craft our headlines and what have you to make them something that people want to share, debate, comment on, etc., etc. So whether you're for or against a particular issue, you want to comment. We know our readers, and we know they want to comment on these issues, so we spend more and more and more time on it. The Blaze, the same thing. They said, look, we're going to spend a lot more time on Second Amendment issues than the Huffington Post will, because we know our audience, and we know that that's what they want to talk about. So they know their audience. It's not. I mean, it's simple, not easy, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like, I'm not saying trying to oversimplify it, but yeah, I mean, congratulations to them. They're using Facebook to their advantage. I mean, that to me is a bigger story than that they're using the algorithm. So.
Yeah, I guess that's right. They're using it. I mean, they have like a 724% increase since last August to May is a pretty huge jump for them. I mean, they're getting more. They're increasing more than sites like BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
But I guess they're doing it right. They're doing it with. They're doing it with not only because I mean, Mother Jones is a left wing website, I believe, right? So they're left. But from what I understand is they're not only getting the left there, they're getting the right there too, that are kind of going back and forth and engaging. So it's not there's a conversation going on there, which is great, right? That's what Facebook's all about.
Sure.
And there's a conversation going on there that makes more people share, right? So people even on the right are sharing articles from Mother Jones, and they're going into their feeds, and their friends are commenting on it, and it's just flowing out. So
congratulations. That's the way it's supposed to work. I mean, you create engaging content, you get people to share it and comment on it. Like, there's no, again, like I said, it's simple, not easy. I mean, if anyone could do it, everyone would do it, right? I mean, it is it's something that we all struggle with all the time. But, again, these guys are, they're throwing content out there that people are engaging on, that they're either agreeing with, disagreeing with, that they want to share, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's what the changes in the algorithm were all about, I guess, in the first place, was that they were going to focus more on great content as opposed to silly pictures, right? And memes. So I guess it's working, right? Because I'm not seeing a lot of cats in my feed lately. So congratulations, I guess.
Hey, there you go. That's a positive for sure. They could do mood experiments, but at least they've lowered the amount of cat cat content on their newsfeed. But no, I think it's look, if this is if this is empowered by the Facebook, by the newsfeed, I think, again, maybe I'm biased, I think, and as you are, it's a great thing that there's more politics and news and engaging sort of current affairs things in Facebook, which bodes well for anybody in the political digital space, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Excellent. Well, look, when we're both agreeing, that's the best time to wrap things up. So I will wrap it up for this week. We really appreciate your viewership, and we will see you our next episode, which will be episode 30. So I look forward to seeing you then and continuing the conversation there. Have yourself a great day.
Bye now.